This segment is brought to you by Les Stanford Cadillac Chevrolet in Dearborn, Michigan. Please visit lesstanford.com.
Welcome back to Inside the Pizza Oven. Joining us is world record holder Ali Reda. So structure is key. The mental part of anything is key. Now, you broke a record 2017, and forgive me if I say the number wrong, but I think it's 1,587 cars?
1,582.
1,582. How many of those were new versus used?
So 1,530 were new,
okay,
and then 52 used. The previous record was 1,425. So 1,530, and that previous record was set in 1973, ironically the year I was born.
Wow.
It was in Detroit, and it was Chevrolets. So I mean, there's kind of a great storyline there, and that record stood for 44 years. So it was. I know why it stood for 44 years. I mean, it was a tough record to break.
1,582 cars in 1 year. Listen, I want to be clear. Yeah. He sold 1,582 cars in 1 year, but leading up to that, you sold 1,110. And I'm throwing out a number. 1,110, maybe 1,211, and 1,300. So every year you gradually went up and you led up to that. So it wasn't just out of the blue 1,582 cars, but the year before I sold six of them. Yeah. You led up to it because you had a long run there.
Yeah, it's not like we said earlier. There's no substitution for work. I mean, it wasn't. People heard about it in 2017 because I broke the record, but in 2016 I was at 1,325. So I was 100 shy of the record, and prior year to that I was at 1,200. So I mean, it was years building up. My New Year's resolution every year. Every single year it's the same. It's growth.
Yeah.
Every year it's growth. It's not I want to go to the gym. It's not I want to lose weight. It's not that I want to save money. It's growth. Yeah. So if every year that you plan on growing as a human, not as a salesman. I'm not talking about sales. I'm talking about as a human, as a person. Yeah. Growth every year. If I want to get better at being a father, I want to get better at being a husband, I want to get better at being a servant to my community. I mean, these are things that will help you get to these ultra high successful levels. But it starts with you, right? So you got to show up to work. You got to have the right mindset. You get all the things that we're talking about. So it's growth. But year over year, it got to the point where in 2017 where I was able to set that record. But a little bit on the record, I didn't know I was going to set the record in 2017. Yeah. I didn't set out to set the record.
How did you feel when how did you find out?
I didn't.
Someone call you and say, hey, by the way, there's a ribbon that
everybody knew.
You walk in, you cross and say, hey, you just sold 1,582 cars.
Everybody knows in our industry, everybody knew the record 1,425. They knew that was there. They knew it was set for many years.
That's right. You surpassed the record. I mean,
but I
1,425.
But I didn't know about the record. I mean, I knew that I was on track right around June. Right around June, I looked at the numbers and I said, wow, if I continue this pace, then I potentially could have an opportunity to beat it. And it wasn't until June that I kind of realized that. And it took, talking about how hard it is, it took 12 consecutive record-breaking months. I mean, anything could have went wrong. I mean, the economy could come in. I could have ran out of cars. I mean, we have, a lot of things could have went wrong. So it was a perfect storm, and that's why it's so hard, and that's why it stood so long. I mean, I needed everything to be running on all cylinders at all times. I didn't know until probably around June that I had potentially, and I still had to have, another 6 months of record-breaking months for me to even get there.
I'm thinking that the dealership runs out of cars. I mean, they have
anything happens. They do. We do.
Maybe you run out of car wax. I mean, these poor guys, they call them porters in the back.
Yeah, the porters.
Hey, Ali, we got no more wax in the back to wax your cars.
I buy porters lunch every week.
Oh my!
I have to buy them lunch every week just to keep them happy. Oh absolutely. So it was, but that was good. It was a lot of fun. I didn't, I ended up breaking the record at the end of November. I didn't know that. My manager, Scott Montgomery, at the time, he says, he says, I got to tell you something. He says, you did it. You broke the record. And I didn't know. For a lot of people that know me, I never know where the numbers are. So I don't know where I'm at for the year. I really don't know where I'm at monthly, because in our industry, everybody's trying to hit these certain numbers. And they always ask me, well, how many are you at for the month? I don't know. I don't want to know. All my managers know not to tell me. My assistants know not to tell me. And the reason why I do that is I don't want the number to dictate what I'm doing. I don't want to say that I'm 2 away from my record, or I'm 30 away from my record.
Passion.
Or I surpassed the record, and now I can relax.
Yeah.
The numbers don't matter to me. They never have. The money doesn't matter to me. That comes.
Yeah.
It's literally just helping and serving, and I don't want that to change my mind. I still love what I'm doing right now. I absolutely love what I'm doing every single day. I look forward to going into work on Mondays. Yeah. So I don't want the numbers to dictate anything that I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you find out about the record. What did they do for you when you found? What did they do when they?
It was pretty cool. They had a little. We had to wait till the end of the year.
And by the way, and I hope I said it, but it's a Guinness Book of World Records.
Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah,
Guinness Book of World Records.
Guinness.
Guinness.
Excuse me. Guinness.
Yeah, it's the same. Different ways. So
I'm Italian, so my slang comes out.
You had it in there, and I had friction. By the way, I had friction with that record because the previous record holder said it wasn't true, and I kind of had to battle that whole thing, and the story went national. I mean, it was kind of a crazy time, but that's
a good thing.
It was okay. Yeah. I mean, the story got projected. I got sued for talking about it, for bringing up the story. We won the lawsuit. So I mean, all of that's kind of behind us. But it wasn't an easy road. It was unexpected. The picture that I had painted for myself was completely different than what actually happened. We put out a press release. The dealership did something very nice for me. It kind of had a nice dinner and ceremony, and they did something really nice. And General Motors did something very nice, and they kind of recognized it themselves as well at an award ceremony. And then, we put out the press release that what we accomplished, and then we got all this, friction from the previous record holder that, they just, I understand their position. I mean, the guy held on to it for 44 years. I mean, it was, he's an older gentleman, and he just felt.
Could you imagine selling cars 44 years ago versus, and it's not about what you make, but what he made 44 years ago versus what you made selling cars today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he wished he broke the record now.
Yeah, he wishes, I mean, he was 91 years old, he was, but he became a very, very, well-known figure in our industry and a speaker and a trainer. And, I think he just felt like that might tarnish his career, but it didn't. It was nothing of that sort.
No one knew about it until you broke the record.
Right, and the picture in my mind was, wow, I can kind of get this guy back out into the industry, and he can start sharing some of the things that he did back in '73. Because some of the things were relevant, some of the things were not as relevant today, but a lot of things were. So the picture I had in my mind was completely different. I put that thing out, and then all of a sudden I get all this backlash, and it was like a gut shot. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I sell cars. I didn't expect any of this stuff to go on.
I'm an average guy. I would have never known there was a record there for selling cars. So actually, that probably helped. Again, it probably helped him out.
It did, and it could have went a little bit smoother, a little better way. But that's kind of behind us. Things happen for a reason, and I'm happy that
So I take it that you're gonna probably sell cars until you retire.
I still love what I do. I still love it.
Do you have it? Is there any do you have any? I mean, you're kind of a star now. Listen. I know you. You're a humble guy. You're a family guy. But is there any aspirations for you? Have you thought about anything further than? I mean, I think you always sell cars.
Yeah.
But is there? I mean, has anything ever crossed your mind? Other aspirations?
I have become a better person by sharing my story. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have become more aware of what I do, how I do it, and how important it is to get out there. Mm-hmm. So I do want to get the message out there of my methodology of the of sales and how I do it and why it works and why certain types of sales work versus other non-traditional ways. So, by me sharing my story with other salespeople, it's actually very, very humbling to see that you inspire people by sharing your story. So that's something that I would probably look into at some point, but I still love what I'm doing.
I'm glad you said that because you would make a great motivational speaker and try to teach people. I've walked in dealerships and what do you tell a guy that's sitting in the corner and he sold one car all month? What do you say to a guy like that?
They just got to change your ways. I mean, you just got to have a different mindset. I mean, it's obviously hasn't been working for the last 20 years. Why do you think it's going to work tomorrow? Yeah. So, you have to look at yourself as a person. I wasn't born a car salesman. I was born a person. Yeah. So I want people to see me that way. And then I'm a car salesman by trade. I'm still a person. Yeah. So if you want people to respect you in that sense, then you have to look at them that way as well. I don't care what that person does. I don't care about anything else other than they need my help, and that's what I'm supposed to be doing that day. So, you know, the industry's starting to change. We are getting more professionals that are entering the industry. So I believe my story does help people, younger people, kind of come into the industry where they may never thought of it before.
Do you have a favorite car in the industry that you don't sell?
Favorite car that I don't sell? It's got to be some of the high-end cars like Ferrari or something, because that's, you know, I'm still a sports car guy, so I do love that.
Yeah. So you and I have something in common. Our high school, Fortson High School.
Yeah.
So
Fortson, man.
there's a couple famous people that come from Fortson High School.
We have a lot.
And, you're one of them, because you know, every time they talk about Dearborn, you know, they always talk about now the hot buzz is Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh.
Yeah,
so
Robert Saleh.
Did you guys graduate around the same time?
Yeah, he's a little younger than I am, but a good friend of mine. I talk to him all the time. He actually, I mean, just a stand-up guy. When he was in Jacksonville, when he was a coach there, he called me to send him a car. You know, I mean, here's a guy, he's a coach of the football team at NFL, and he's reaching back to his community to say, hey, I need this type of car. Can you send it to me? You know, I mean, he had a million opportunities to get cars anywhere he wanted. But that's the foundation that I'm speaking of. You know, that's the community. That's why it's so important to give back and do certain things with your community and become well known. You know, to become well known and popular on social media is one thing, but it does nothing for you as a person. To be popular and to be compassionate towards your community, where you can see and touch people, and people are always going to love and support you as you do them. That's a big deal. So yeah, there's a lot of good big names that came out of Dearborn, out of Fortson.
Did you go to the Super Bowl? Did you?
No, I didn't go down. I watched it. Yeah,
I
was disappointed.
I know.
That was a tough loss.
I think all those Dearborn guys.
Yeah, we were supporting them, man. Of course. Yeah, it didn't matter. You throw out. You know, I'm a Tom Brady fan. You know, by heart. I mean, I followed Tom Brady. He went to Michigan. I followed him his whole career. But I wanted San Francisco to come through for Robert Saleh in our community. Yeah, very important.
So Derek Lowe is another guy famous from Dearborn. You said you competed against him.
Yeah, I played baseball. I played baseball at Fortson. He played baseball at Etzel. So yeah, very, very famous guy. I mean, amazing career.
What position did you play in baseball?
The bench.
Oh, the bench.
I'm just kidding.
That's a good spot.
I played center field, and you know, I was okay. Yeah. I love center field. Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
I liked playing center field when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know.
That was a lot of fun.
Mine was just in the park, so it wasn't.
Sports is a big deal, man. Getting kids involved in that is a big deal.
Derek Lowe, ironically, kid from Dearborn, goes to the Boston Red Sox, which he came on a terrible trade from Seattle, and he goes there.
I remember that.
And a kid from Dearborn is on the mound that wins the World Series for the Boston Red Sox, who have not won a World Series in like 80 years at the time, and it's a kid from Dearborn.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see that, and it just goes back to, you know, that the potential is there for anybody. Anybody could have been in my position. Anybody could be in his position. You know, it starts with believing in what's possible. You know, a lot of these kids now just don't believe in anything, right?
Yeah.
They don't believe that they can get to those levels. You know, they don't believe that they can achieve that. You know, I'm a product of Detroit Public Schools, right? So if you say, you know, I went to elementary school at Detroit Public School, I went to junior high Detroit Public Schools. I didn't move to Dearborn until I went to Fortson in high school. So, you know, when you look at it, you know, we didn't have sports teams in Detroit Public Schools at that time. We didn't have any of this stuff. So to say that here's an inner city kid that, you know, believed in himself throughout his whole life and then achieved these high levels of success, you know, where you come from shouldn't dictate where you're going, but it starts here.
Yeah.
So if you don't believe it in yourself, and how am I going to expect you or anybody else or the community to believe in me if I don't believe in it? So very important.
Well, so what do you say to stick on kids and play sports in high school? I'm a believer they should play more than one sport.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's good for them. If they stick to one sport, they might get bored of it. They might quit it. But I think if they diversify and move on and play other sports, It's a good thing for them, isn't it?
Oh, it's very important to kind of get them exposed to anything that you feel might be a passion for them. My kids played soccer when they were younger, and then as they got older, they just weren't into it as much, so I couldn't force them to do it. Now they're more into basketball, and my daughter's really into piano, so I'm encouraging that. So I put them in as many things as you possibly can and see what they love to do. They're gonna find something that they love. It might be art, it might not just be sports. Anything that gives them that extra activity that they can hold on to and believe that they can achieve that topic that they're in. It's very important for their inner self.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Fredi's foundation at #PopTheTab at FrediThePizzaMan.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email FrediThePizzaman@gmail.com.
Now, I'm a few years older than you. When I was near Gear Park, there was a guy named Juice.
Yeah, I love Juice. Yeah.
Juice was a legend shooter when it came to sports.
Yeah.
I don't know his real name, but you know his real name?
Yeah, Juice Beydoun.
Oh, is it Juice? Oh, it's Juice wasn't.
No, that's his nickname, but Mohammed Beydoun.
Is he the coach?
He's the coach. Yep.
Edsel Ford, I think it is.
Yep.
Basketball.
Yep, basketball coach.
He was a legend.
The guy was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Shoot lights out.
Yeah.
And he was one of the reasons when I first started playing basketball. I played against this guy, and I'd see him on the court, and it was one of those guys where you just like look at him, man, this is just amazing that this guy can shoot that way. And I played with him, and I started playing basketball. I didn't actually start playing basketball, believe this or not. I started playing basketball in 10th grade. So when I grew up in Detroit, we didn't have teams. Our gym was our cafeteria. So we didn't have organized teams or any of that stuff. So I started playing basketball around 10th grade.
At Fortson?
I didn't play at Fortson. So that's when I started playing with friends in that.
I got you.
So then by time I got to senior year, I was pretty good at basketball, and it just came naturally to me. I never played at Fortson, and I ended up walking on to Henry Ford Community College, and I ended up playing basketball there because of guys like Juice, because of the things that he taught me, because he was involved in the community, and he actually would stay behind on the court and teach me how to play basketball and shoot. And I was inspired by a guy like that, and he did that to so many people, not knowing that he was doing that, just by being out there and being active. I mean, there's a lot of guys that grew up because of him.
What position did you play in basketball?
I played forward. I played guard. At Henry Ford, I'm 6 foot. At Henry Ford, for the second part of our season, I had to play center because our center got hurt. So I had to play center for a while, and I was playing these guys who were bigger than me, but they didn't have a bigger heart than me. But but they were taller than me.
You thought you were Bill Lambier.
Oh yeah, I was throwing
muscling everybody.
I was throwing some elbows. It was good.
All right, well, we're gonna get to rapid fire a little bit and take a little break.
Fredi, what's going on with these tabs, man?
Pop the tab. That's something I created 4 years ago. Hashtag pop that tab. I'm sure you're aware of the blue light in April. It's Autism Awareness Month, so people put in a blue light. They flip on their porch light, and I wanted to do something more than just April. I wanted to make it Autism Awareness every day. So I started Pop That Tab here. And basically, you pop off a tab, off a can, and that money, the tabs I collect, I'll scrap it for aluminum, and that money will go toward the foundation. But that's not the biggest goal, because you're not really getting much.
Right.
The biggest goal is to spread autism awareness, autism acceptance. And when people pop a tab, they automatically think, oh, autism, oh, Fredi the PizzaMan Foundation. Yeah, pop the tab is all about just people having awareness, people having autism acceptance. And the more people know about it, the more eyes on it, the more people know. So that's what it's all about. And people can join the events, Fredi the PizzaMan Foundation. So people send me pop tabs from around the country. They mail them in. People stop in here with bags full of pop tabs.
Wow.
The people save them here. I mean, I get them. Once a week, I get something through the mail.
That's very cool.
I had a guy email me one time from Miami. He's retired. He saw the pop the tab, and he goes on the beach in Miami, and he has a metal scanner.
Yeah.
He goes, anytime I find Pop Tabs, I'm going to send them to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guy from
Miami.
Yeah, it's just about awareness. You're right. I mean,
So,
that's it. So every time, so from now on, when I think of a tab, that's what I'm going to think
Pop
of.
the tab.
That's
Exactly.
what I'm gonna think of.
So and
that's awesome, man.
That's the hashtag on social media. I use it on all social media. Fredi the Pizza Man. Pop that tab. So
hats off to you, man. That's a great cause.
Thank you. So let's do a little rapid fire.
Yeah.
Just have a little fun with some questions.
All right,
short or long. Anyway,
let's go.
It's our show.
Let's do it.
So we do it how we want.
Let's do it.
So you're Lebanese.
Yep.
So I'm Italian. When I go out, Italian's not the first thing I want to get.
Yeah.
So when you go out to eat, what's a go-to for you?
A great steak dinner.
Yeah.
Of course, pizza is not because we're in a pizzeria. Pizza is one of my top go-to.
It don't look like you eat a lot of pizza.
But I do. Yeah, thank God. I've never had to diet in my life, which is good, so I can continue eating pizza. But usually it's a nice steak dinner. Usually, I'm really not into these, trendy, crazy, loud social places. I like that old school, quiet dinner that I can go to the mom and pop place. Yeah, and then where I know people. I'm a lot of restaurants I go into now. I know the manager, I know the owner. I'm back in the kitchen area. But I like that experience. Yeah. I'm going for the experience more than just the food, but the food, of course, is definitely what brings you back. But I'm the guy that's going for that 99% sure thing. I know what I'm getting when I go to this restaurant, and I'm not willing to fumble my Friday for something new.
So when you walk through a restaurant, you walk through the kitchen, you feel like you're Goodfellas, right?
Yeah, you feel great, man. You feel so good. You feel,
Henry, come on over here.
It's an experience, and people don't understand it. It is an experience, and I can go to any restaurant and sit in the back corner and have my meal and go home. But what fun is that? Yeah. Like I want the experience, man. I want to know what's going on. I want to know who's there. I want to know what's hot on the menu tonight. So I'm asking these questions, but time over time, people will get to know you and respect that and love that about you because a lot of people aren't doing that. So
that's a steak dinner for Ali. Walking through the kitchen. What are we talking? Ribeye, T-bone. What's your go-to?
I like this strip. I like the New York strip. Yep. I like that.
So, actually, maybe after the show, it sounds really good.
It does sound good. Yeah.
So I say to you, Michael Jordan or Tom Brady. You can only pick one.
Oh my gosh, that's a tough one. That is a really tough one. I am gonna go. I
know you brought your love up for Tom Brady earlier.
Yeah, I love Tom Brady because he's a local guy. Michael Jordan, of course, the stuff that he's accomplished not only as a basketball player but as a businessman. I mean, he's touched so many people in his life. Man, that's a tough one.
Well, I can tell you, people here in Detroit hate Michael Jordan because of what he did to the Pistons.
Yeah, but the problem is
I think the Pistons did it to themselves.
Yeah, the problem is they hated him and forgot to respect what he was doing.
Exactly.
So, and I never got into that. So I've been, obviously a fan of Michael Jordan my whole career. So that's a tie. I can't pick one.
No, I'm not going to let you pick
I got to pick one.
No way. There's no ties on this show. We're not the Detroit Lions.
All right. This is it. So I am going to just go with Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to go Tom Brady.
Yeah, I feel like he makes everybody around him better.
So you were a baseball guy. You played center field. You were Willie Mays. Here's a kind of touchy situation here. Houston Astros. What do you make of that? I mean, what do you make of that situation? I mean, you hear everything. The players should be banned, thrown out. The records should be thrown out. The World Series should be thrown out. What do you make of that?
I people are just getting caught up in things that I don't think we should have any input on. Major League has to deal with it on their own level. Yeah. I think that us as fans just have to look at things at face value. There's a lot of things that do go on behind the scenes that we don't know about, but I just leave that to the league, man. I have no control over that.
Well, it's ironic how you say that because in the social media world, everyone has a voice now.
Yeah, but
and I don't think everyone should have a voice.
No.
I mean, it's way too many voices.
Yeah, that's a business.
And for me, they should be banned. The players should be out of baseball, but it isn't for me.
It is for us to say.
So your answer, I love your answer.
Right.
I love it. So, favorite Detroit athlete and why? Any sport.
Detroit athlete, I would probably say
current. It doesn't have to be current. It could be past.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still go with Tom Brady as a Michigan player, but I would go. I would go. I love Isaiah Thomas. Huge basketball guy. He's done a lot for our community. He's done a lot for the city of Detroit, and you cannot match his passion. when he played.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of his.
You know, everything, the whole theme interviewing you, it's all about community. And I know
that's the foundation of my life.
Yeah, all about community.
Yeah.
So you're sitting home watching TV. You're turning on the Food Network. You're turning on the History Channel. You're turning on something else. What are you turning on first?
Yeah, I do. I like the Food Channel, but probably going more towards the History Channel. Just trying to learn. You know, obviously history is the best teacher. So I do love that, and I love the Animal Channel. Believe it or not, Animal Planet.
Yeah.
It's very intriguing to me.
I've never really watched it, but
you watch a couple of those shows with the tigers and that on there, man, you'll get hooked.
Oh yeah,
yeah, you'll get hooked.
Don't they look like? One time I did watch. Doesn't it look like it's going to come right through the screen?
Oh yeah. And in fairness to like TV and that, I don't have a show. I'm not one that follows any show. I've never watched any show. People get with Game of Thrones and all these other shows that are out there. I have never ever been addicted to any type of show, so I don't watch TV that often. Yeah. So I can't even stop watching the news because that was just bad all the time. So if I am going to flip through something, it's one of those like history or animal or something.
Well, the only thing now to watch is Pizza TV.
Pizza TV is the one to go with. Yeah,
you can download the app on all your devices. So
I'm doing that right. I'm doing that right when we're done here.
That was a cheap plug. So this is kind of a funny question here. I mean, what do we do with the Detroit Lions? I mean, are they going to win? Are they going to win the Super Bowl in our lifetime? You're 43. I'm 50. I'm 50 by the time this is recorded. So 49 now.
I'm 46 now. So
46.
Yeah, 46. Yeah. So
are they going to win a Super Bowl? Their lifetime. These guys recording us. Yeah. I mean, are we going to see a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think they will. I think they they've made some wrong choices over the years, and it's easy to be Monday morning quarterback, I guess, but they've made some wrong decisions. But I think in due time. The one thing that we do know about Detroit Lions, is we are dedicated fans, and we have been for many, many years. So to support a team that hasn't won a game all year and still love them is pretty incredible.
Now, you don't have to name any players, but these guys they probably come in your dealership by cars, right? Because we're local, Dearborn.
Yeah, I have a couple of them buying from me. Yeah, I just recently had one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and maybe we might get that kid from Alabama too if we draft him.
Would be nice.
I think they should draft him. Come to town. And,
would be nice.
Hey, Ali, can you sell me a car?
Yeah, and I get hooked up that way. A lot of guys that do come in here, I've had guys that got traded and they need a vehicle when they get here. The one previously had it came from a warm weather area and had to trade in a car, rear wheel drive car for an SUV. So but that's again solving a problem, right?
Absolutely. So if you just a couple questions left, but if you can attend any Game 7 in a championship series, whether it's baseball, hockey, or basketball, a Game 7, which one are you going to?
Baseball.
Yeah. World Series.
I go World Series.
Yeah.
I've been to World Series. My son and I started. Actually, this is something new, but I love taking him to baseball games. And but we just went to New York, the new stadium in New York this past year. So so that was a lot of fun. So I kind of started this. Him and I are going to go to a different stadium at least once a year, to a different stadium, and just kind of go just a quick hitter over the weekend, leave Friday, Saturday, watch a game Sunday, come back. So I'm going to try to do that with every single stadium I can go to and just get that experience and that bonding time. Yeah, so sports is a big deal to get that bonding with
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Members.
With your son? Oh, absolutely. That's priceless. I saw a post with you. You were at a charity event with Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
And I think Chaz Palminteri.
Chaz
right?
Palminteri.
That's
Yeah.
my guy,
Sonny.
Oh,
Sunday. I did. I walked up to him. I go, it's Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, what was that like?
So that was pretty cool. I got invited to this Mariano's charity event in New York. So they flew me out there, and I attended this charity event. It was really cool. That was pretty crazy, kind of seeing these guys and just normal, man. They were just normal guys. Mariano talking to you like just you and I are speaking here. It was really cool to kind of meet him. And the Sunday, I didn't know he was there, and he was taking pictures with a lot of military people, and there was a lot of people there. So really cool guy, man. I love that pic.
Oh, yeah.
You could see me. I was like a kid within this big smile I had on my face, and he had that mafia look on his face. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, Sonny, he's great. So last two questions. You're sitting down here. You had to pick a show, American Idol or Bachelor. Which one are you watching?
Oh, my gosh. I'll go American Idol for sure.
American Idol.
Yeah, more entertaining.
Well, I didn't pick Bachelorette because Bachelor is actually the 25 girls.
The 25 girls.
Bachelorette is only one girl, so these Bachelor.
At least you gave me a
girls.
good option. Yeah. American Idol is pretty cool. It's fun to watch them, and it's fun to see these people that actually believe in themselves, which is really cool.
There was a guy from Dearborn that was on The Bachelor maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was. I think it was Bob. It was his name.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
He was from Dearborn. Yeah, he didn't last long.
No.
Yeah. So, last question: If they were to make a movie about you, which actor's playing you?
Which actor is playing me? Oh my gosh, my favorite actor is literally Denzel Washington.
Yeah. You can't pick a better one.
I would go with that guy. So I would definitely. That would be pretty cool.
All right, cool.
He can do it.
Well, listen, Ali, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on breaking
Thank
that
you.
record.
Thank
You
you.
Listen, anyone that deserves it is you. You put the work in, and you led up to it for many, many years to get to that point. And I know I heard in another interview you're going to end up breaking that record again. I know
That's
you
very
will.
cool. Thank
So,
you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
My pleasure.
Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac is a family-owned and operated full-line Chevrolet Cadillac dealership located in downtown Dearborn, Michigan. For the past 50 years, Les Stanford has been dedicated to excellent customer service in sales, service, and auto body repair. We have all the resources available to make a fantastic car buying and servicing experience. This includes a massive selection of Chevrolet, Cadillac, and certified pre-owned inventory to choose from, free loaner vehicles for service and collision center customers, and a finance source for every type of credit situation. Come experience the Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac difference today by visiting our showrooms in Dearborn, Michigan, or shop online at lesstanford.com.